Hi, welcome to Kilted Balls, your podcast about our entrepreneurial journey and lately about a lot of NFT stuff. So, hopefully, you've been enjoying our viewer numbers are going up, and this is Ballbuster.
And Kilted Dragon Jer, great to see everybody, or if you're listening, I do appreciate that as well. Thank you.
All right, so Gal, it feels like forever since we've chatted. We weren't really that fast and furious with content, I didn't think, but this is episode 7, and our last one was on July 28th, which was not that long ago, not even a week ago, but it feels like forever because if I'm looking back, we were releasing content pretty much every day or every 2 days, which is, I didn't realize we were doing that. So like last night, I was like, man, we've got stuff to tell. It feels like it's been forever. And it's funny because we were like, man, do we have enough content for once a week? And apparently we have enough content for like every other day, I guess, the way things are moving. Probably slow
Yeah.
down, in the fall, but
I don't know. I think that if we have stuff to talk about, I think people will listen. A friend of mine who I play D&D with, we were talking on Saturday, and shout out to Chris, thank you, and he's been listening. And I think with the shorter episodes and a little bit more bite size than the long, I think we can do it, especially once we start
yeah.
working in some of the interviews and stuff. So I know we've been talking a little bit about that and with some people that we know who are on similar journeys and different insights.
Right, for sure. I agree. And so I didn't get any NFTs this weekend, but you did, right? And I think I'm going to be like on OpenSea while you're talking, looking some of these up because I haven't looked at a few of them. So give us the rundown.
Actually, I just bought the 2. I actually, that's what I was looking to. I'm like, did I buy more than that? I guess I have an update as well because my drop came through for the bulls on the block. So if you remember,
nice.
I bought that bull because I heard they were doing a drop, and so that's why I picked that one up. So I got the bear on the block, and just kind of waiting to see what happens. Right now, I can't see it like what it is, and I want to say it's this weekend that that drop will happen. So that was interesting. I mean, that was what I consider like a smaller, like just kind of investment, because that was, I guess it was 0.28 that I paid for that bull. But he's
Right.
really fun. I actually really like him. So as far as more NFTs. But Sunday morning, I was making breakfast, and of course I saw like a thing popped up on my Instagram that Gary Vee was live. So I hopped over there, and he was just, some of the things that we say as well, obviously we've heard from him, but and a lot of people are saying it, like most of these, they're probably going to go to zero, but there's tons more out there than we're even talking about. So we're only talking about a small percentage of the NFTs that are going to be released. And people say, just like the .com boom, a lot of those went away. So, but one thing he said he really liked was the World of Women. And have you checked those out at all?
I have not checked them out, and I am looking at your World of Women right now. So
excellent. Thank you.
There is one of your World of Women. So for those of you who are not watching this on YouTube, it's World of Women. And the image we have up right now is, I'm going to say this is a young lady. She is Smurf blue with sunglasses on that are kind of maroon and a Hawaiian-ish peach flowery shirt. So that's the descriptor for you.
So the World of Women is made by women, female-owned business, and can't remember if there's anything on the back end, but it was something that he had suggested that, and our friend Jason does have some that he picked up 3 at the drop.
Oh,
so
wow.
He was talking about them a little bit. So I was thinking of getting a couple anyway, but then hearing Gary talk about it, of course, I drink all Gary's Kool-Aid.
Yeah. You guys love the Gary V Kool-Aid.
Uh-huh. They were, but the floor was 0.8 when I had gotten on there, and
0.08.
oh, I'm sorry, yes, 0.08. And so that one was 0.09. And then I also got a green one. I got two of the different
Here, let
colors
me
because
go
I
back
thought
to
they
the
were
green.
a little more fun.
Yeah, you've already had offers on it higher than what you paid.
Yeah,
Here's
well,
the
this
green one.
morning I looked at the floor this morning on what's actually selling is 0.2
Oh,
for the World of
wow.
Women. So that's not even with the more rare colors. Both of those colors, they were 5%. So the green
Okay.
one, she's a darker, for any fantasy fans out there, like a ogre sort of
Yes.
green or
Yeah,
orc,
definitely an ogre green.
a uh, a wolf necklace, blue or a purple lipstick, and kind of teal hair, like almost like a bob, not quite a bob.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but
So,
yeah, I
and
thought
this
they
is
were
another
cool.
one you got for 0.09, and you've already been offered 0.15.
Yes,
Holy cow. Why didn't you have me buy some of these?
I told you right away. Like as soon as I got that message, I told you.
I've got to
You
learn
were
to listen
you
better.
you were in church, I imagine.
So the floor right now is 0.28. So
Yeah.
here's the World of Women. You can see it if you're on YouTube. But the floor point, like it says, it's 0.28, but the first one that popped up on mine is 0.299. Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
you got
I'm pretty
yours
sure
for
I told both you
0.09.
and Jason in text message right away, like, hey, Gary's talking about these, not
Well, so
financial advice to
the
my
reason
best
I
friend.
didn't do anything right away was Gary had tweeted like the day before something like, hey, hit me up on an NFT project that's, awesome. I'm going to buy it and plug it. Right.
Hmm.
So then you came out with that. And I'm like, oh, so that's the one he decided to view and plug. And I'm like, is that going to pop out and disappear instantly? You know what I mean? Like,
Good.
is he going to plug it and is it going to just jump and then fall back down? So I was like, I'm not going to get it right away. I'm going to wait a minute and see what happens. Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I haven't done all the math, but I think half of the planet Earth is female. So I think that something like this would be a little bit more up the fair sexes alley as opposed to getting a bored ape. I mean, there's definitely ladies out there who love the bored apes or the crypto punks or whatever, but this is a little bit up, I would say, more of an alley for the female investor, or someone who wants to have an avatar of some sort and whatever. So
Right. I would totally agree. That would make sense.
that's why I did it, but it's not something I'm looking to flip right away. And I just thought they were, like I said, they were interesting at first, but I didn't pull the trigger or anything. But I ended up doing it later and end up paying a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. And now if I pull the trigger, it's a heck of a lot more. Right. So,
Yeah, I think
but if they keep going up, I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, like look at the bored apes. I mean, I ended up getting my bored ape for almost 2 ETH, and I'm getting offers for 7 on it, and that was just a couple months ago.
yeah. And we had a buddy talking about how he didn't pull the trigger. I think it was V Friends or something. He didn't pull the trigger because they were going for like 3 ETH. And he was like, oh, I really felt confident, but I pulled the trigger out of fear because that's a lot of money to risk and lose.
Yeah.
And he's like, and now, some of those are going for like 20 or 30. And he's like, right, I should have pulled the trigger
Mm-hmm.
back then. And it's funny because as he was saying that, that really resounded with me because I'm looking at like these World of Women and going, okay, they're 0.3 right now. I don't think I am ready to pull the trigger on a 0.3 after I've been burned on so many other NFTs, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I got burned on a 0.08. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
0.037 maybe.
Yeah. Because it's real money when it comes down to it. I mean, yes, it doesn't seem like it because we're not used to spending it, but it takes real money to put it in there, taking it out of other investments or things like that, switching it over. So
Right,
that's why,
for
I mean,
sure.
you really have to be careful and check out, be confident.
Yeah, you got to have faith in what you're doing, be confident in it, and you got to have a little bit of a willingness to risk it, which is kind of scary as well.
Yeah. Although one, and I don't know if it's hit your radar. I saw it on the one website. Did you see that there's a dungeon one? I think the guy worked on Adventure Time and Archer, and it's on the Curio blockchain, or not blockchain,
No, but
but
I would be really interested in a dungeon one.
yeah, if you go to curio.io, but it's more like the characters. It's not some of the other stuff like you and I have talked about, but it looked funny. They kind of look like the Adventure Time people with like their big heads and little necks and little bodies. I can't remember what it's called. Did you?
I'm on Curio right now, trying to
Oh,
look
okay.
around.
Well, it looked like you were talking in the video. I was like, I might have lost you.
Nope. I'm good. So
And
I'm on
before,
Curio. I've actually not been on Curio before. And so what do you think? Search dungeon?
no, if you go up to I think it was the like upcoming or something, not upcoming, but just their different drops. It's right there. It says new on it.
Yeah. I need to like make an account.
Curio X NFT Dungeon.
It won't let me just search, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's under it. Yeah, it's under the collections part.
So I'll have to make an account and do it. But that's awesome. I'm gonna have to
So
check that one out.
yeah, if you're gonna check that out, it's and I guess they said the person decided to mint them on Curio as opposed to on Ethereum for the gas fees, but then they're
Okay.
still going to be sold on OpenSea. So the drop is this Wednesday at noon. So it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern time for our Eastern listeners, noon Pacific. And it
Okay.
says 0.05 ETH.
0.05 ETH. That's
Yep. The
in
part
my
that I'm
brain
confused about,
reasonable.
it says there's 500 editions, but there's 10,000 NFTs. So I don't know if it's 500 different kinds of people or what, and I couldn't really find more information on that.
What's Curio using if they're not using ETH, if they're not using gas fees?
I don't know. That's like the article that I saw had said that.
All right.
So yeah, right here. But it was originally debuted in May on OpenSea, but the high price of gas frustrated Sam, so he brought the project to Curio, where the gas is free. But the drop is still on OpenSea.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. So stay tuned with us next episode where you'll hear about Curio and these
Yeah,
gas fees.
for sure. But it looks
I'll
interesting.
research
It
that.
says that there's dungeon adventure drops on Fridays. You can get like newly minted adventures on Wednesdays, it says. So I don't know. I guess there's a game along with it too. And so it does look interesting.
That's awesome. There were two things I thought about today as we were kind of going through things.
Mhm.
The first one was how many NFTs I get that people don't think of as NFTs. Like I was playing Magic the Gathering Arena and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I think I want to buy a skin for this or buy some cards. And I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, these are NFTs. They're really cheap NFTs,
Yes.
right? And they're not on the blockchain, but that's what they are, right?
Basically, yeah. And you can't resell them.
And I can't, well, yeah. And like it used to be when I played like Dota 2 and stuff, you could resell some of that. So I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I need to get the arena made so that we can sell these cards to other people. It needs to have an open market.
Yeah.
And the other thing is Lucky Manicky was doing a thing with Decentraland. And so I made an account on Decentraland.
Yes.
And
I was hoping you'd talk about that.
yeah, I mean, I've got to think about it a little bit more. Basically, Callium and I explored it together. We
Okay.
live streamed it to Twitch.
Awesome.
With us just exploring, like figuring it out, learning how to move, going and visiting different spaces. We went and visited, we actually logged off in the space they were having their gathering, and then we got super busy and it was on like Greenwich Mean Time. so we forgot to log back in to go to it. So we didn't go to
And
the
is this a
party
special
anyway.
drop for Kilted Balls podcast? That sounds, I'd love to hear that and experience that on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, we should do that, right? Do another podcast where we talk about Decentraland.
And
That's a whole
so,
new thing,
so
right?
this original one you did not record. You were sitting right at your at
I
Command
streamed
Central.
it. I streamed it live. I streamed it live, right? But we didn't like broadcast out that I was streaming it live, and I wasn't sure if it would save the live stream or everything.
Man.
If it did save it, we'll put that out there for people to view on our Twitch, right? So
That's
I'll
fun.
look through. I haven't looked at anything to see if it saved it like on the computer, if it just streamed it and did it. So
That's
but
awesome.
yeah,
That was Saturday, you said?
yeah, I think so.
I thought so. Yeah, I had my all day D&D on Saturday, so got in about an 8-hour session. So that was
Nice.
awesome. It was
Like
it was,
a one shot or like a
no,
of a
it was
bigger campaign?
part of our campaign,
nice.
but had 2 big dungeons and some social interaction, but it was super, super cool.
Yeah, which in our campaign there was no time passed, and it was all social interactions.
That's like reading the one Robert Jordan book. You have like 5 sessions.
It's like
20 minutes
11.
passed.
What is that? Book 11 of Wheel of Time, right? Oh my gosh.
Winter Crossing, is it?
Winter Twilight, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Right.
That's
That
hilarious.
was Jordan did a lot of awesome things. That book was not one of them.
I disagree.
was
I
for
loved
sure.
all of his stuff. I drink all
That
his
book was
Kool-Aid too.
not one of his best books.
So another one that maybe we can talk about next time, and it just came up on the BitBoy podcast. He
Yeah.
does YouTube and a podcast, but he was talking about, and I have it saved on here. Let me look real quick because I don't remember the name, but it was something I was like, okay, I might need to look into this a little more. It looked fun because Brian and I have been talking about, okay, is there a game that we can play, because especially on this sort of, with the NFTs and everything there's a lot of play to earn.
Yeah,
which is
for
nice.
sure.
Oh, this one's called Alien Worlds. So it looked kind of interesting. I haven't done any research about it. He had just started, it was just today and I had like 5 minutes to look it up. So maybe next time, later this week, we can talk about that a little more.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So it sounds like, again, we have lots of content we need to get out there. Like once a week is definitely not going to be enough, not unless they're like 3-hour podcasts. So
yeah, and Jason's ready to come on. So we've been talking with him a little bit. A great friend and in the space as well with us.
So much to do.
Lots
so
of
much
insights.
to do. Well, hopefully
right.
You guys all enjoyed the podcast and our talk about World of Women and a brief glimpse into Decentraland. We'll probably get on here again in a day or two, and we'll try to talk more about those and the upcoming drops on Curio. And I think we're also going to want to have a big talk on taxes. That was a big conversation over the weekend. So
yes.
we've got stuff coming, a lot of content coming. But thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate
this
everybody.
Is Kilted. This is Paul Buster signing off.
Kilted Dragon Chair.
All right, see you guys.